because it was like, if I am going through this, how many women out there are going through this?
Hey, Michelle.
Strange. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
do that again.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Carling.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, good. I just spent the weekend with Lindsay's family in Golden, British Columbia.
Yeah. How was that?
It was really good. The
Mhm.
house that we stayed at was like a little more dilapidated than it was last year. Like we stayed at the same house last year
Oh,
and like we got there and the dishwasher, there was a sign that says do not use. And then the microwave had a sign that says do not use.
oh,
There was just like some funny things that we were like, what's happened here? It's been a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
year and maybe the guy just did not do any maintenance to the property.
Right.
But it was all right. Like it's hard to find a place that can suit. There was like I think 23 of us.
Oh my God, that's a
Mhm.
lot. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
Busy. My whole week actually was really busy. I worked, but then I also had an appointment on Tuesday, and then we had 3 appointments on Wednesday, and then we had 3 appointments yesterday. And so it's just been like appointments like crazy. We went and saw the school on Friday. It's really cute. Like it's smaller than the other school. Yesterday we had a 3 hour therapy appointment for my youngest three. So it's been busy, really busy.
Yeah. That's a
Hmm.
lot. Life is busy when you're just one human between the dentist, the eye doctor, the regular doctor. Hopefully, you're seeing a mental health specialist.
Hmm.
That right there, what did I say? Eyes, teeth, body, brain. That's 4 appointments that you need to have like semi regularly.
Yeah.
But now you times it by 6 if you count you and the 5 kids.
And my only days off are Wednesdays. So like everything has to be done on a Wednesday. So it doesn't
Yeah.
make for a really fun day off, but that's okay.
They should have, I'm sure this exists somewhere, but they should just have one professional tower that has like a dentist, an eye doctor, a regular GP, and therapy. Be there for 3 hours
Yeah.
and just get her done.
Yep. That's what we're doing with the therapy. Like we're doing 3 back-to-back sessions. So we're there for a long time, but it's the best way to schedule them all on the same day and get
Yeah.
it done. Yeah, it's just been a lot. And then I went over to Superstore. I had to get some stuff for because I've got 3 birthdays next weekend. Julia and the twins, both, or all three. And so we're doing a little birthday party for them. So I had to go get stuff for that. Had to
When are you doing
get,
a
and
birthday party?
I already told you about it.
Oh, like on the Monday. Sorry. I like felt left out just for a minute there. Sorry.
Yeah. So just a lot of, I don't know, tying up a lot of loose ends of getting school stuff and all the stressful things before school starts.
Yeah, I hear that. And then you said you decorated the girls' room today?
Yeah, we've just had like decorations boxed up that we haven't looked at since
Oh,
we
yeah.
moved. And I had some picture led shelves, so I hung those up in their room and we put some of their stuff on the shelves. And I got them a cute little rug from Superstore and a few pillowcases that just went on our like existing pillows just to make their room a little bit more cozy. And because I don't know if this is like anybody else's kids, but pretty much none of my kids have slept in their beds since summer has started,
Where have they slept?
like everywhere. The twins have slept in their room, but my older three have slept usually on the downstairs couch. My middle one usually sleeps upstairs on like the recliner.
Oh,
And I don't know if it's just, I hope
I
it's
don't
not
think
just
that
my kids.
I don't think
That
that
that's
was my
normal.
experience as a kid.
No. Yeah, I think I generally slept in my bed. But yeah, they've just been sleeping everywhere but their room. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, we need to get back into our rooms because
Yeah.
school's starting.
Yeah.
You can't just be sleeping all over the place.
Yeah, Wyatt's been sleeping in the basement because it's been so hot upstairs in
Yeah.
our house. So
Mhm.
we told him like with school starting, it's starting to cool off at night more. And so we're trying to get him back into his bed
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bedroom.
It's going to be an interesting first week of school, I think, adjusting back to real life.
Yeah, routine and everything.
Yeah.
One thing that I've been tracking all weekend, you're on corn TikTok. I'm on Gabby Hanna TikTok.
I
So
am on corn TikTok and it's glorious.
It's funny. I've seen a couple videos of this
Yeah.
song. And it was like, what was the original? So for anybody who's not on TikTok or is not on corn TikTok, it was like this news reporter interviewing this kid
Just about corn and what he liked about corn. And
because he was eating, he was like
he was
on
eating
video
corn.
and he said, "What do you like about
Yeah.
corn?" And then the kid just rattles off a bunch of
It's corn. A big lump with knobs. It has the juice. You can't
I mean, he's
imagine a
not
more
wrong.
beautiful thing.
With
It's
butter and
corn.
salt.
Yeah, I've been on corn TikTok. That's been really fun. But yeah, so I've heard the Gabby Hanna thing wasn't real and that it was all for
I
promotion.
I am not here to say whether somebody's mental health crisis is real or not.
Right.
But as somebody watching it, so I thought it was really interesting because we interviewed Maddie a few
Yeah.
months ago, and she was really open about her experience with psychosis.
Mhm.
And she was in real deep. And
Mhm.
the way she explained it, and then watching Gabby Hanna's videos, so for anybody, so Gabby Hanna, I don't even know who she is. I guess she's a singer. She was
She's a
on
big
YouTube
YouTuber. Yeah.
and she's been a little controversial. And
Yeah.
then I just saw somebody posted saying, "I'm really worried about Gabby Hanna." So I was like, naturally, I need to look this up.
Of course. Yeah.
So I went and I was following her videos, and I just don't think that you can fake her behavior so consistently,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
because she was literally posting a video every 4 minutes
Yeah.
for 24 hours. I think like when you're in psychosis, you're in this heightened sense. You don't sleep, you don't eat, you don't drink. You're just like, you're on
Right.
a high, or when you're manic, I should say. That's what allows you to like stay awake. And she was, I don't know, it just like, I don't think she's that good of an actress.
Right. And
And
I'll say I maybe watched 3 or 4 of the videos, so I didn't really
yeah,
see like fully all the way through what was happening there.
yeah, I think the thing that seemed strange to me, so she was just posting all these videos and she got a God complex, and she thinks she went from being like the mother of Jesus to
The
God's
second
mother,
coming.
the second coming. She was going to
Yeah.
have Jesus's baby. All these
Right.
things. She had been to heaven, and I don't know, it was just really interesting to watch from the lens of having talked to
Hmm.
Madison and interviewing Maddie about her experience with psychosis, because
Yeah. For
I
sure.
was like, yeah, Maddie explained it like that. Like now I
Right.
can see
Right.
how Gabby Hanna's brain is working.
Right.
But then this guy,
Saw that.
Nick, so apparently this other guy on TikTok saw these videos and was like, "Oh, I live in the same city," found her address somehow, allegedly went to her door, knocked on it and said, "Hi, can I use your bathroom?" And his alleged intentions were to see about getting her help, see about bringing her down from this manic episode.
But all he did was like film inside of her house and like
Yeah, like he went
basically expose her and yeah.
Yeah, he went from like 30 followers to 54,000 followers in a few hours. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, it was really interesting, and I've been like watching it all weekend.
Yeah.
And I hope that if she is in a manic state or like psychosis, that I hope she gets help and is safe and taking care of herself.
Absolutely.
But isn't it funny that
Crazy.
TikTok just sends you down this path of
Oh
you're
yeah.
going to be on this side of TikTok?
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I've been
It is
actively
crazy.
trying to get away from animal rescue TikTok
Oh yeah.
because my heart cannot take these
Mhm.
videos of like, I found this dog tied to a train
Oh yeah.
track. This
Yeah.
horse was set to be slaughtered.
Uh,
This thing, like, I can't. I don't like them.
mhm.
I try to swipe away. Like, TikTok,
Yeah.
if you're listening, stop
Yeah.
sending me animal rescue videos.
No more. What's so funny is that I don't go on our TikTok as much to just like swipe,
Mm.
but I was swiping on our TikTok and it's behind. Like it's actually behind.
Am I
There's
behind the
videos
curve?
you are, and it explains you not understanding like new trends
It's not just
because
me.
because you haven't seen them yet. Because it is. I think that mine is quite like up to date. Maybe because I'm on it all the time. But I think ours is behind and it's, yeah, the trends are a little bit delayed.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Maybe I'm just delayed.
Maybe. They're like, oh, this girl's a little slow. We're going to have to take it slow. We're just going to have to show her a
Yeah,
couple things at a
not
time.
too fast.
Not
Yeah.
too many trends. We don't want
Yeah.
to confuse her.
I do get confused easily.
Yeah.
But
You have other
anywho,
skills.
I have other skills,
You have very
including
many
but
other
not
skills.
limited to. I was very popular this weekend with the children. It was
Excellent.
requested that I make rainbow pancakes. I didn't even know that I was known for this,
Mhm.
but I've made them for your kids. I've made them for
Yep.
my sister's kids. I've made them for Lindsay's kids. And one time I made them for Lindsay's niece, Nora, who is 6 turning 7, I think. Or maybe she's 7 turning 8. But she was like, Carling, she doesn't say much to me. And she's like, are you making your rainbow pancakes tomorrow? And I was like, I did not bring a single thing to make rainbow pancakes,
Yeah.
but we made it happen. Somebody went to a store and her and I and 2 of the other kids made rainbow pancakes. And then I also, it was raining. So I was like, why don't we draw? And they told me to draw a T-Rex eating a banana that was scared. And
the banana was scared?
The banana was scared of being eaten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then then they wanted a monkey laughing at the scene.
Okay.
And then they also wanted another T-Rex dressed in a banana costume.
Oh, my Lanta.
And I nailed it. Everybody was like too impressed with my drawing. I don't think I can take full credit because I just Googled how to draw T-Rex. And then you Google it, it gives you a 45 step. You can't go wrong. But apparently it was very impressive. Everybody was like, you're a good drawer. Nora was like, you could be an illustrator.
Oh,
I was like, Nora, thank you so much.
You're going to have to post it on our stories.
I will post this picture because everybody was really blown away. So I may not be good at TikToks and following trends, but I can follow a how-to draw guide from Google and make rainbow pancakes.
That's amazing.
All right.
That for you.
You
can also, maybe we'll talk about it after.
No, what can I do?
I was going to talk about our Patreon, but we're running long now.
Okay, let's talk about our Patreon at the end.
Okay. I'm going to say I was thinking about everything, and I know another thing that you can do, and that's edit the Patreon.
Are you saying, do you want to re-say that, or was that you saying it?
No, I'm going to say it at the end.
Oh, okay.
But I'm telling you what I'm going to say.
Okay. Is this for the intro or for the outro?
For the outro. Okay. Oh, you're saying at the end of the outro you want to do it?
No, we can say it at the beginning of the outro. This is the intro.
No, are you wanting to say it at the end of the intro?
I don't know. I'm up for anything. Have we ever done this?
I don't think so. We're going to go to our episode, our interview with Rachael.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just loved her. Talking to her was so great.
Amazing.
And I didn't even know about this, and everybody should. So I'm so excited about this episode.
Agreed.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Rachael.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. How are you guys?
Good. I'm so jealous that you're camping right now.
I know. It's so nice out. My kids are out on the boat right now, surfing.
Oh,
that's so nice.
I was going to say we're excited to meet you, but Michelle, do you already know Rachael? Do you guys know each other?
Not really. Like, your kids went to the same preschool as one of my kids. I remember seeing you in passing, and then I've been following you on social media like for a long time. We lived in the same town, so just one of those things.
Got to like really meet or get to know each other, but know of each other. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I probably
cool.
know you more than, I don't know.
Yeah, social media. Yeah.
I'm not a stalker.
I've been a pretty open book, so I feel like a lot of people know who I am and heard my story because I don't really keep anything. I do keep some stuff, but I tell my story.
Yeah. I think a lot of our kids are the same age. So I've probably seen you post like in the mom circle group. That's it.
So you've seen my transition then. If you would like knew me back when I had short blonde bleached hair and big fake boobs and it's been quite the journey.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So Michelle only told me a little tiny bit about your story. So I would love it if you introduce yourself, tell us a bit about who you are and what you do, and then we'll get into this transformation.
Okay, sounds good. I am a mom. I'm a mom of 4 daughters, divorced 3 years ago. I am a skincare slinger. I don't know if you've heard of the company Red Field. It's a premium skincare multi-level marketing company, and it started in the US. And I joined them before they were coming to Canada. I heard about a year before they were coming. And so I just started using it myself, had incredible results because I'm super acne prone. I just fell in love with the brand. And so when they came to Canada, I helped launch it here. It was really successful. And then we launched in Australia. So I took my family and my mom over there for 7 months and we launched the brand over there, which was really
Oh my
amazing.
God.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really great. Cool experience. My youngest daughter learned to crawl in Australia and to walk in New Zealand. So that was a pretty cool story for her.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of traveling for work because I was opening a lot of markets around Canada and obviously Australia, and just like really sick. And I actually lost a baby when I was 5 months pregnant. That was my fourth baby. And when the autopsy came back, my blood levels, ANA blood level was through the roof. And so that is a marker for an autoimmune disease. The doctor who delivered my baby sent me to a rheumatoid arthritis specialist, a rheumatologist. She was like, yep, this makes sense. Every single joint of mine was hurting. The bottoms of my feet hurt. I was exhausted. I had food intolerance. It was like, I felt like I was dying a very slow death. And I realized it after the baby died. It almost kickstarted this like physical pain, but the emotional trauma of losing that baby, it didn't really click in my head, like the physical part. I got the diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. It made sense, but was like pretty devastating. And then we went to Australia to launch RNF there. And I was laying in bed, unable to even take my kids to the beach. We lived like a block away. And I'm like, I'm wasting this whole time if I'm not working and pulling myself together to get on a flight to go cross country, to go from working in the bath or bed onto a stage and then back into a bath or bed. I'm like just dying a slow death. Like, this is crazy. And it hit me a story from a lady who shared about her breast implant illness disease. I remembered it was about 5 years probably before that, maybe 4. At the time when I heard her story, I remember thinking, oh, sucks to be her. I love my implants. I was so insecure before them. Like, I would hate to, if they were making me sick. Sucks to be her. Fast forward, laying in bed dying. And I'm like, maybe I have exactly what she had, because I need to go back there. So I actually went through her timeline, found her video and reread that. And it was like, oh my God, I have every symptom that she has. This is me. And so I started looking into it and researching everything I could. And it very clearly pointed to breast implant illness.
And so when did you get breast implants?
So I got breast implants when I was 23 years old. So I had them for about 8 years by the time I really started feeling sick. Really, when I look back, like, I had little children. I had 2 kids under 3 when I got them. And then I went on and had another baby, and I was busy momming and being a wife and doing all the things. And so when I look back, I think like maybe I just was feeling crappy, but attribute it to like, because we all like, I would talk about breast implant illness and some of the symptoms, and moms would always tell me like, I feel that way too, and I don't have breast implants.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But it just got to the point where it was so bad that I was like, this is how I'm going to die. This is not living at all.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's so funny that you say that, because I felt similar to that when I had my first, exhausted all the time. And then my milk supply started going down and I had lost a baby and he was losing weight. And then we realized that I had like hypothyroid, but so many of those symptoms you can just toss off as I'm an exhausted mother and not really pay attention and think about, oh, like, what are these symptoms really telling me? And do I need to go get looked at?
Right. And then even if you do go get looked at, how many times does the doctor just say it's all in your head? Or you're a mom, you're busy, you're tired, this is normal, right? And one of the common themes with breast implant illness, as I'm sure so many other illnesses that women deal with, is that the doctors were telling women, you're crazy. This is in your head. Crazy. And they would put women on antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds instead of looking at the actual cause. And I think regardless of what illness it is, I think that's something that women have to battle with. Unfortunately, I'm not saying all doctors, I'm not saying I don't like doctors. I'm thankful for doctors. But just based on my personal experience and my mom's personal experience, we really have to advocate for ourselves as women, especially, to be heard. Because women are tough. You can just deal with it. And it's crazy.
Yeah. I even get that as a woman in a larger body. My doctor's first response all the time is like, if you lost weight, oh, it could be because of your weight. And sure, like I do need to lose, I would like to lose weight and be healthier, but that doesn't explain sudden heart palpitations or sudden, like all these other things. But yeah, it's like their first go-to is to just look at what might be the most obvious excuse or reason
or a way to get you up before. Like,
yeah.
And unfortunately, that is our medical system right now too, underfunded and overworked. So a lot of times it get you in, but get you out quickly. And you don't want to look at the root cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you got the breast implants, was this a warning? Was this a possibility to look out for? They were like, we're going to put these suckers in and you're going to be great.
Yeah, you guys, it's crazy. I literally went in there as a 23-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I asked, is there anything that could go wrong? And he said, no, there's absolutely nothing that can go wrong. He's holding these implants. I have them actually. I should have brought them. They're at home. But he's holding these implants and he's like, these are the Cadillac of implants. You could cut through this and it's like a gummy bear inside. There's no way it can leak. Super safe. You'll never have an issue. It's a lifetime device. You'll never have to swap them out. Those are all lies. It's no implant is a lifetime device. So anyone that sees this, that has implants, that thinks, well, I'm fine, like sucks to be you. Like I said about the girl that kind of opened my eyes. No, you have to go in every 10 years and have them renewed.
Wow.
You're putting these plastic stacks of goo, sewing them over our most vital organs, and you're going to tell me that is safe? Like, how does that even make sense?
Yeah.
So when I realized that this is what I had a lot of shame because it was like, I did this to myself. I did something. Right. How can I complain about this? I am chose to kill myself over vanity. Like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it was actually pretty quickly once I accepted that they had to be removed, and it went into space like, I want them out now, right now.
Yeah.
And it was like a struggle waiting to get them out. So I moved through the shame and went live on Facebook and told everybody what was going on and what I found out about myself and what I was moving forward to do. And I was like shaking the whole time,
no.
trying not to cry because it was embarrassing. It's not like I went out and I have breast implants, everyone. I actually hated them because I felt insecure when they were out, like I was being showy. So I always was wearing a top covering. Very few times did I actually show them off. Not a lot of people knew that I had them. So then to come out, on social media and so this is what's happening. But I felt like it was so important because breast implant surgery is the number one. I don't know if it still is, but it was the number one surgery for decades.
Wow.
It's so easy for a surgeon. It takes them really no time at all. They just pop them in there, sew you up and send you out. They make a killing on women being insecure and So
I think all of us are insecure about something, especially when you're a mom and you've been nursing babies and your boobs used to be up here and now they're down here. There was a time where I said the same thing. Like, after I am done nursing my kids, I want my body to go back to the way it was. And I want my boobs to be up where they were before. But it's so important to know. I would have never thought that 10 years from now, you would have to go to a doctor and make sure that they're okay still.
Yeah. And it was, to your point, that's exactly why I swallowed the fear and just went on and talked about it immediately. Because it was like, if I am going through this, how many women out there are going through this and have no idea? Because I never heard about it before until that woman shared her experience. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I have to pay this forward and talk about this so that I can help save someone else. Because
absolutely,
at that point, it was so hard to even find a surgeon who was taking them out properly. Right. So I actually went to Costa Rica to have them removed. And the story was even wilder from there.
So I'm curious about, if you hadn't gotten them removed, would it eventually be a fatal situation? And what were they made of and what was happening? Were they leaking? Were they decaying?
So I had the silicone cohesive gel. So is what they're called. They'll sometimes be called a gummy bear implant, because like he said, every single implant, whether you have saline, silicone, cohesive gel, they all have the silicone shell. And so when they put them under, so mine were under the muscle, so they put them under the muscle, your body is like an oven in there. So it's constantly just heating up these implants. And so there's going to be, whether it's like a big leak, like some women have, where it's all mush and falling out basically, or just really slow leak of this silicone. It's every single second of the day, it's like leaking slowly into the body. So my implants were intact. And when he pulled them out, they weren't actually, there wasn't anything broken necessarily, but it's just that slow leak that's constantly coming out. Your body actually creates a capsule around the implant. So it's a scar tissue capsule around it. And that's to protect your body from all of these toxins that are leaking out. And so when you go to get them removed, you have to have that capsule removed. You need everything to come out because it's going to need that, right? And very few doctors were taking out the capsule because it's a really serious surgery. It's pretty easy to just pop the implant out, but then to get the capsule out isn't, because it can adhere to your body.
Right.
And so I was looking for a surgeon to do it properly because I didn't ever want to have surgery again. At the time, there were 2 surgeons in the US and then this one surgeon in Costa Rica that had taken it very seriously. They were doing studies on the illness and backed up forever. And it was very expensive to go to the US, and I could go to Costa Rica and be in a recovery center and have a 24-hour nurse and food and everything included for basically the same price. So it made sense. After I had the consultation, felt really comfortable with him, went to Costa Rica. Basically right after we got back from Australia, we came home April 1st, got home April 2nd. I took my Rodan and Fields leaders on a trip they earned to Mexico, and we hung out there for a week. And then I came home, got on a plane and went to Costa Rica.
Wow.
Met with the surgeon that day and then was in surgery the next day.
Were the people in your life, like I'm assuming you were married still at the time?
I was, yeah.
And your mother, were they really encouraging of you doing this, or were they afraid of you doing this, or thinking maybe that's not the answer?
My mom has implants as well, and she has gone through a lot of her own illness. And so she was actually very supportive, and she wants to get hers out. She hasn't still, but it kind of sparked in her like, hey, this is where I want to move forward. My husband at the time, he was supportive of it because I was dying. There was really he couldn't deny that was the truth. And I even said to him, you know what, even if I go through all of this and one symptom goes away, that will be worth it for me.
Right.
So yeah, he was, and I was paying for it. So
yeah.
And he
oh
got
my
to go
gosh.
to Costa Rica, so whatever.
Yeah. And did
funny.
you talk to any medical professionals in Canada? Did they know about this? Did they offer any solutions or support?
Yeah, I did call a clinic in Alberta. I won't say where because it might be obvious of where it is. And they were just like, we're really booked up and we don't guarantee that we take the capsule out. If that's really important to you, it might not be the right fit. So it was like every surgeon that I was looking into at the time, it was all like pretty hard no in taking the capsule out. Which after having mine out, I am glad I was where I was because he was very confident in what he was doing. And the capsule on the left side was actually stuck to the muscle on the outside and my ribs on the inside.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the surgery was supposed to be 2.5 hours. It took him 5.5 hours to get it all out, but he did get everything out, but he had to scrape my rib. So I can actually feel I have a totally flat spot on my rib right here where he had to shave it down to peel all of the skin or the capsule.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That to me is so crazy because you go under and they're like, everything's going to be fine. Like, we're just going to do this. And then you wake up and they're like, actually, we had to like literally scrape it out of you. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I knew that there was a possibility. I mean, he was a really great surgeon and he explained everything. He told me what the risks were. I knew going in it was a risk that I might not even come out of surgery.
Wow.
But at that point, it was like, I'm either going to try to get better or I'm just going to die. So, yeah.
And did you feel immediately better?
Well, it's funny because coming out of surgery, it was terrible. It was like, I'm not good at, even when I came out of getting them done, I was a wreck. So when I came out of surgery, it was awful. And the whole thing, getting back to the recovery center and really busy traffic, terrible. But the next morning when I woke up, I like woke up at 6 a.m. and I'm like looking around and like looking at the clock, like what is going on? Because before I would have to roll myself out of bed. Like 4 alarms had to go off and I was always so exhausted. There was no way I'd ever wake up naturally at 6. I woke up and I just felt like alert. The bottoms of my feet weren't hurting, which was like one of the first things I noticed because I had the bottoms of my feet. The pain was so bad. I had to wear Birkenstocks everywhere I went. I couldn't wear anything else. I don't know. Someone gave me that tip because I was always complaining about my feet and they did help, but it was like instantly like my feet feel good. And I thought maybe I still have medicine like in my system from or something. I'm just going to wait. And then I started noticing like my joints aren't. That's interesting. They were still a little bit, but not as bad. Every day, I just kind of noticed I was still feeling good. However, I was looking back in pictures just to refresh my memory. The first morning after surgery, the nurse came in to help me shower. And I had on the left side it was like quite swollen compared to the other side. And we had talked about hematomas, basically a pocket that's filling with blood. But everyone said when you get one, because it goes like huge right away, you can't miss it. But it was really swollen. It was really painful. And I asked my nurse, like, do you think this is a hematoma? And she's like, no, it goes like this, like you'll know. So I'm like, okay. So every day it was swollen and getting a little bit bigger and a little bit more tender. And I was going daily to talk to my doctor, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, this isn't really looking good. And so I x-ray and a hematoma was picked up. We had to book a second surgery to have the hematoma removed. I went in for that surgery, and it wasn't a hematoma. It was actually the muscle. He had to scrape it to get it off. So the muscle was just bleeding constantly and it wouldn't stop bleeding.
Oh my God.
So when you have those implants, you have these hollow spots that have now been taken out, and your body is going to fill them with blood just because that's what it's going to do. It's not going to leave. If your muscles aren't falling back on themselves properly, that's where that blood is going to fill up. So he sent me in for a second surgery. They scraped and scrubbed the inside of the cavity with like bleach water to try.
Oh my God, I just want to hold my chest.
I know
right
everything. Every time you talk about your boobs, I'm like holding mine. Like,
I know. I'm holding them right now too. I'm like, oh, babies. That was yeah. And so I came out of that surgery wrapped incredibly tight with a compress on there. And it was so devastating coming out of that surgery because I was wrapped so tightly, I could not breathe. And the recovery nurse didn't speak English. She only spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
She didn't think that I was there. She wasn't very nice.
Oh,
and I'm like crying. I'm like, help me. I can't even move. I couldn't move myself, right? Because you can't use your arms after you've just had your whole chest like ripped up. So I went back to the recovery center and pretty immediately was in like 15 out of 10 on the scale pain, like out of this world, something's wrong. Next door in the recovery center, this really kind woman who was a massage therapist, she had come for like a nose job or something. So she could hear me crying, and she came into my cabin and she was like massaging my feet and massaging my legs. And a nurse was coming in every hour giving me morphine, and nothing was touching it. So we went back to the hospital. My surgeon met us there, and they were like, you might be having a pulmonary embolism. We need to
my God.
Yeah, we need to get you in for a CAT scan immediately to see if this is what's going on. And I'm like, I don't know about this. And they had given me 2 patches of fentanyl, and it didn't touch the pain. Like, he's like, you should be out cold. Like, you shouldn't be. They wheeled me in for a CAT scan, and you have to put your arms like straight up, right? And I just had my entire chest cavity opened up. And
God.
So this poor guy that's doing the scan, he's telling me like arms up, and I'm like helping me stretch my arms up as I'm going into the CAT scan to have it done. And it was like just terrible pain. So they did that. Luckily there was no embolism. They got me up into my room, and I kind of fell into like a fentanyl coma. Put in, and I ended up having 2 really bad infections in both of my drain sites. So surgeon pulled the drains out of there, and then they had to manually massage all of the infection out of the sites on both sides every 3 hours.
God.
Every 3 hours they would.
For how long?
I think it was about 5 days it took for it to fully be. I was on like 3 different antibiotics, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
Whew. After all of that though, I'm sure like you didn't regret having them removed.
No. And honestly, there was a moment where I was in the hospital bed. My fever had spiked. They called in the head of medicine from the other hospital to come in to be on my case. They had a doctor in Florida that was on the case as well. And my heart actually started giving them issues. So now they're like checking my heart. I'm like totally out of it. And I just remember thinking like, okay, this might just be it. And that's okay. I tried, but I was at peace. It was like, okay, I tried, and I was going to die anyways. At least I tried. And that was kind of my thinking. But then my surgeon came in, and I said to him, like, I don't think I'm going to see my kids again. Like, this is probably it. And he was like, do you trust me? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. He's like, you will see your kids again. And then he went to his office and he brought back this antibiotic that was like a $10,000 antibiotic that a doctor had gifted him to use in case of a really serious emergency. And he used that on me and got killed that infection. So literally,
just picture it being in like a little glass case and he's like breaking it with a hammer and he's like,
breaking case of emergency.
Yeah. Inside, sparkling and shiny. Yeah. For 10 grand, it should be sparkly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
God.
That's crazy. So were you in Costa Rica a lot longer than you were supposed to be?
Yeah. So I was supposed to be there for 12 days and I ended up being there, I think it was for about 25 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're just paying out of pocket, right? There's no, like, your Canada healthcare doesn't pay for
Yeah,
this.
it was all out of pocket. Thankfully, we did have insurance. And so our flights and stuff, we were able to move the flights back and that was taken care of.
Right.
And mine did end up covering a lot of the extra costs that we didn't anticipate because I got special medical travel insurance for this because I knew that the chances of something going bad were pretty high.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. What was recovery like? So you got home and how do you, what happens next?
Okay, so it gets a little crazier.
Impossible.
Right, I know. So I actually had a trip that I had earned from Rodan & Fields as during the company to the south of France. And it was coming up in June and it was now the end of May. And I asked my surgeon, like, can I even go on this? And he said, I studied in the south of France and Italy. I am telling you, if there is one place that you should be recovering, it's in the south of France. Yes. Perfect. Go on the trip, enjoy yourself, just be careful, but whatever. So he sent me with a package of blood thinning needles because all that flying isn't good. That was one of the reasons why he didn't want to send me home any earlier and told me to go. So I did. We got home. I was home for a week maybe. And then we got on a plane and went to the south of France. Beautiful trip, super spoiled, had so much fun. But when I got home, because every day I was cleaning my wounds and wrapping them and whatever. And I noticed there was like a little spot and it looked like a stitch was trying to come out. Like maybe there was an internal stitch coming out. So I was watching it and it was like this little bump and the bump just started getting bigger and bigger. And I had a photo shoot that day for our convention that was coming up. They do these life-size cutout pictures. And so I went and got this photo done, but I'm like sending pictures of this bump to my surgeon. Like, is this something I should be concerned about? It got bigger and then it popped and it was like, there was like, sorry for this, but like oozing and gross. My surgeon was like, you need to go to the emergency room like right now. And so I'm Googling it. And on Google, it's telling me that this is MRSA. MRSA is a antibiotic resistant bacteria.
Yeah. 2
of the antibiotics that can kill it, I have already been on for 1 month, and the third I'm allergic to. So I'm going, okay, this can't be it. This can't be it because I won't, how am I going to get rid of it if it is? So I went to the emergency room. The emerge doctor said she took a swab of it, said she was going to test it, and sent me home with a little medical kit with gauze and scissors and tweezers. And there you go, just go home and maybe you deal with that yourself.
Like, what does that even mean?
That's what I asked my surgeon. So I'm like,
what, experiment on yourself.
Like, how do I deal with this? So he walked me through it. Get in your shower and get everything out. Squeeze it until it all comes out. Have running hot water. Then you're going to need to sanitize yourself, sanitize the whole shower, keep it wrapped, and continue to do that as it keeps filling. So I did that, and wow, the pain was unreal. When someone else is doing it to you, you just have to like bear down and kind of like take it.
Yeah.
Yourself is like a whole new ball game.
Yeah. Because your brain is like, no, we're not doing this.
King, stop.
Yeah.
We have that for a reason. Yeah, to protect ourselves. So I did that, and then I actually had spots that had been filling up with fluid there and under my arms, 2 pockets, that my surgeon was like, go to your doctor and ask her to remove them, like aspirate them, because he had been doing that in his office kind of like every other day when I was going in. He's like, put her on Zoom. I will walk her through the whole process if she's uncomfortable. It's like a needle, you pop it in, you suck out all the fluid.
Oh my God.
So she refused to do it. She's like, no, I don't feel comfortable with this. I'm not doing it. I'm going to refer you to a plastic surgeon here. Apparently, plastic surgeons here don't really want to mess with someone who's gone out of country to a plastic surgeon, which I do understand. But at the same time, I'm like, please help me.
Yeah.
So they weren't getting back to her. When I went into the ER, I told them I was on a wait for this surgeon. She said, I'm going to push this through to them to see if we can get you in. They just weren't calling back. So I called and made a consultation for a nose job or something. I don't remember what I said. And I went in and I sat down and the doctor came in and I said, I know you don't want to see me, but I'm going to die. I need you to help me. And she was like, not happy with me. Okay, show me.
You like bamboozled them.
I did. Because I was like,
you have to.
Like, I'll die. So I remember I had little heels on, cute jeans, button up shirt. I undo my shirt to show her. She's sitting in front of me. She goes and gets like a swab kit and she comes in and she just pokes the cotton swab into the wound. And it like took my breath away. I'm like, oh my God. And she pulls it out and I'm like literally seeing stars.
Oh.
That must have hurt, huh? And I'm like, yeah, that hurt. And she's like, well, you have a tunneling wound. So that's not good. So a tunneling wound is going to tunnel all the way down and bring that infection to your heart, your lungs.
Oh
wherever.
my God.
So now I'm like really freaking out because I'm like, what am I going to do now? By the time I got from Calgary to Okotoks to pick up my daughter for school, I was in line waiting for her. And I got a call from the dermatologist's office saying, we just called the emergency room to follow up on your visit. And it is MRSA. That's what you have. So we're going to send this prescription to the drugstore. You're going to go get that topical and ingesting and just pray that this works. I did that. That was probably one of the scarier times of all of it because when I was in Costa Rica, feeling like I was dying on a hospital bed, I knew that I had the medical staff and I knew I had a surgeon who had my back that was like going to make sure I was okay. But when I was in Canada, I didn't have any medical staff or personnel who gave a shit. So it was like, if this doesn't work, I'm screwed. I remember going to visit my grandma and my grandma was all worried and I was trying to stay calm. And she's like, I have a friend who she had an infection like that. It went into her bones and she's in the hospice now. And I'm like, well, thank you.
My
grandma. That's the best.
So much. So recovery was terrible because it was like in bed all the time. I have 4 little kids at this point on antibiotics and pain medication. And I can't lift my kid because you can't lift anything.
Yeah.
It was really hard. It was probably September when I started to feel like I was getting back to healthy.
I'm going to assume you had some judgment between like medical professionals, family members, friends who were like, you shouldn't have gone there to get this this surgery because of all these complications now. Was this something that could have happened anywhere? And what was the reaction from your family and friends and healthcare workers?
Yeah, no one really voiced that to me because I think the people that were close enough to me knew, knowing what was going on, there's no point at that time. I think we probably
all been a real dick move. Yeah.
yeah. But at the same time, I didn't once ever regret doing it. And I let everybody know that, just so you're all aware. I am so happy that I did this. This recovery does suck, but I was warned that this could happen. And at the end of the day, I felt, even though I was now dealing with these crazy infections and a total different spectrum of health needs, I still felt so much better. I felt alive. Whereas before it was I felt like I was dead walking around. The healing side of it. It's funny because I had such a tough recovery, but I felt so much better than how I felt with the implant, that there hasn't been 1 second that I regretted it.
Yeah. Wow. That's really amazing. It's interesting. Like you say, how you probably didn't realize at the time how sick you really were until they came out. So now, this was how many years ago that they were taken out?
They were taken out in 2018.
So not that long ago, but have things changed now, especially in Canada, or awareness in plastic surgery offices when it comes to telling people that this could happen or treating it when it happens?
Yeah. So I feel like the whole landscape has changed since doing the surgery, because before my surgery, there was no information. There was one Facebook group that is a huge Facebook group. I think when I joined it, there was 10,000 people in it. And now I think there's over 100,000 people in it. I haven't checked it out in a while. Maybe it's more than that. And it was always women that were telling me the exact same story of, this is how I feel, and everything connected. And so many of them, my doctor doesn't believe me. My doctor's saying I'm crazy. And now there are doctors who are doing more explant surgeries than implant surgeries.
Wow.
It's one of the top requested surgeries now honestly, it's the women, like the one who shared her story and then going on to share my story. And then the women who heard my story and did it for themselves and shared their story. We're saving each other.
Yes.
It's not the medical industry that wants to save us, but they had pressure put on them from women who were like, we're not putting up with this anymore. We are sick and we're getting the word out. And so the FDA has actually now put a black box warning on implants, which is the most severe warning of all their warnings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Because
incredible.
could somebody turn around and sue the manufacturer, the surgeon?
Yeah. Many people have sued. But the thing is, when you go in, you sign your life away, right? It's like Apple. Apple owns me. I don't read the terms and conditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
exactly.
It very well could have been in the contract, like these could make you sick, but the doctor's saying, no, you're fine. Go in. Not reading it. So I think you sign your life away first, and they know to protect themselves.
Yeah.
But I do know that there have been some that have been sued for sure, and a lot of the manufacturers actually have offered for women to send their implants back to them, and they'll send them a check, but they have to sign an NDA.
Ooh.
So I've heard of women getting like 10 grand when they send them back. They sign an NDA that they're not going to talk about it. But they get the money, get their explant or whatever. And a lot of people, it's expensive to do it.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people are willing to sign that to get the money to get them out. But
absolutely. That's so shady.
Yeah.
That's so shady.
Yeah.
Wow. I am hearing a lot more on social media, women who are getting them removed, because when you're 23, that long ago, there's not as much knowledge. There's probably not enough people who have had them to experience the bad where it's out there. I think it's so important that people are sharing now and helping women not feel crazy because of the way they're feeling physically.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Would you give any advice to any human that says, I want to go get breast augmentation?
Honestly, I would tell them to go into this Facebook group and just read the posts, because I've seen so many people who they say, hey, so my friend sent me to this page and read your guys' stories, and there's no way, I'm canceling my appointment. I'm not getting implants anymore. There's not necessarily anything I can say to a woman who truly feels so insecure that she's going to go through that and think it's going to help her, but to plant a seed of just check it out for yourself. Because I think even if I were told that, down the road you could get sick, I'd be like, whatever, I'm going to have big boobies. Like, how sick am I really going to get? That won't happen to me.
Totally.
I probably would have had that. I've actually had so many women reach out to me after they've heard my story to ask questions, or to say, I went and got my surgery after hearing yours and I feel great too. Or I've had some women message like, I don't feel great. What's going on? I've had mine out. But it's really comes down to we have to make our own decisions for our bodies as women. And I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm shaming them or judging them for making that decision. But just logically think about it. Really just think about what you're doing. You are opening up your body and you are putting 2 stacks of goo on top of your internal organs, your most vital internal organs.
Yeah.
And you're throw it up over that. How do you think that plays out in the long run?
Yeah.
And I wish, I've always been very small chested. I didn't develop when my friends developed. I, would wear the cup bras to pretend I had, something, and I never did. But now I love them. It's funny because they're ugly compared to what they were before, because now I have scars there instead of just little boobs. There's scars too.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of how strong I am and what I did go through to get to where I'm at. There's a part of me that almost doesn't regret getting the implants, because I feel like I learned so much through that journey, and it really pushed me to learn how to love myself. And through that process, I was able to then set boundaries for myself. I was able to stand up for myself. I was able to truly care about myself. Whereas before, it all went together. I didn't love myself, so I let other people treat me like crap. I treated myself like crap. It all went together. And then when I had this happen and realized how strong I am, and really it also reaffirmed to me how incredibly strong we are mentally and how important that is in our lives day to day. Because even though I was going through all of that crazy stuff, there was never a time that I allowed myself to go into victim mentality. I was never oh, poor me. Oh, why is this happening? I didn't let that happen, because I knew, I accepted that I could die, and that was a real possibility. And there was times that I very much felt like, okay, it's happening now. I knew if I slid into that victim mentality, I was for sure going to die.
Yeah.
Because when you tell your brain, I'm dying, this is it, I'm dead, I can't get over this, your brain's like, all right. But if after the surgeon said, you trust me, you're going to see it, then it was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Kind of question about people who do decide to get them, especially people who are transitioning, who want to have that piece that they feel like they're missing. If they want to have breasts, would you give advice for them to say either make sure that you're getting them checked frequently? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've actually thought about that a lot, because as a woman with a very small chest before surgery and now again after, I understand that feeling of, if I just had boobs, I would feel more womanly. That would make me a woman. But that's not what makes us women. Like that, and the divine energy and the feminine energy and all that stuff, like that is a part of being a woman. So for someone who's transitioning and wanting to have implants, I would just say, hold off on doing that part of it. I have very little, tiny little boobs, and I'm very much a woman. And I would say to someone who's transitioning specifically, not that I am an expert on that at all, but I would just say you need to learn to love yourself as you're going through this transition, enough to know who you are. You're a woman, you're transitioning, love yourself first. And get to the end of this and you still feel like that is going to make an impact, then really do your research first. And if you think that the pros outweigh the risks, then, you know, I'm not going to tell anyone what they should do. I really would encourage everyone, transitioning or not, don't do it, because it's not worth it at the end of the day. You can wear something under your clothes. The person that you're with, as far as like partner, romantically, whatever, they're going to love you and your body healthy. Know? And I was nervous about what I would look like after, because I knew that a divorce was coming. And I thought, oh, now I'm not just dating as going to be dating as like the single mom with kids. Now I'm like dating as a single mom with kids and no boobs. I feel like I can almost relate to that a little bit, because we're told in the media and just in like our culture here in North America and a lot of other places, that boobs are what make a woman, and it's so sexy. But unless you can have big boobs, unless you're feeding a baby, put them away.
Exactly.
But if you're showing us them and you're being sexy, then you can have them, and you're womanly. So the whole thing on breast size equals being feminine or being a woman, I just think it's such a goal. You know? And I feel sexier now with very little breast tissue, almost none, than I did with my implants, because I just love myself now.
So, I think that's so important.
I wonder if like science, surgeons, big companies are starting to think like, oh, word's getting out. There's got to be an invention, something in the medical world to have breast augmentation that isn't silicone.
You would hope.
Safe,
Like, can you take it from my butt and put it in my boobs?
That's the thing. The only thing is that it's not guaranteed to stay. So when you move it from the one spot, whether it's bum or hips, belly, wherever you're moving it from, sometimes your body will just absorb it and it doesn't actually stay there, because that is definitely an option for people, especially as they're explanting. They'll often do the explant surgery and the fat transfer at the same time. But I've just heard a lot of stories of like it just not working out. And then where you're moving it from, now you have this big lumpy area where it's been taken out of. So I'm just of the mindset now, like just love our bodies the way they are. And let's get down to this patriarchal idea of what beauty is.
Like, absolutely.
It's so ridiculous. We are literally fueling a whole many industries based on us being insecure about our bodies, the diet, plastic surgery, all this stuff. It's devastating to us as women, but also to the daughters that we're raising. So for me, I'm just like, let's stop with all this junk about what is beautiful or what's whatever this
standards.
The standard of beauty that I hate it. I have 4 daughters, like I said, and being able to tell them my story has been so good for them, because they have no interest in doing anything like that. No fillers, no nothing, because they're like, so risk it.
Wow. That's amazing. Rachael, I'm so glad that we were able to connect and that you are sharing your story, because I think it's going to save a lot of people's health, lives, who knows.
I hope so. Thank you for having me on. This was so fun to chat with you guys.
I know, absolutely. It was so great.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk to you really soon.
Okay, sounds good. You guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Carling.
I cut you off in our intro. Well, we cut each other off, but you were going to toot my own horn and tell me, what else am I good at?
You are very good at editing our podcast, which includes editing our Patreon, which is a segue to say we have a Patreon.
Oh my God. We didn't even save room in our intro to talk about like the number one thing we should talk about,
We're
which
so
is our
unprofessional.
Patreon. But I think that's just us.
People love us for who we are.
Love us or hate us, this is who we are.
Yeah,
But we do have a Patreon.
we do.
And just this past week, we just launched our 63rd episode.
That's amazing. That's a lot of episodes. And they're so different from each other. There's so
Yeah.
many different topics and we just released another true crime one that I thought was really fun to do. And we have a new Wet Wednesday coming out on the 5th. So
No,
if you want to sign up for
it's definitely not on the 5th.
I thought it was September 5th.
It is September 14th.
Well, son of a bitch. We have a new Wet Wednesday that's coming out on September 14th, which was super fun, and it went so far off the rails. So if you want to sign up for our highest $10 level, you get everything, bonus episodes, into draws, discounts off merch, and our Wet Wednesdays.
Yeah. It is amazing. Oh my gosh. And a big shout out to Erica, who is our newest $10 a month patron.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, Erica.
I just wish I would, if I could, hire a plane or fly it myself and spell out thank you and then their first name over the house of everybody that supports us, because that is how much it means to us.
I agree. That would be insanely expensive. But I love your enthusiasm.
Thank you. If it's the thought that counts, this is what I wish.
Yes.
But we have even a level at the $5 level. You still get 2 bonus episodes a month.
Mm-hmm.
You can binge all 63 episodes the day you sign up. That's 63 hours. So that's like almost 3 days worth of straight listening. But I'm not here to tell you how to live your life.
I mean, do your thing.
And also, Rachel, thank you so much for being today's guest.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. And holy crap, I can't even imagine. Hopefully this message can get out to more people. I just remember do you remember when Tori Spelling had a reality show with her husband?
Yeah.
I remember her talking about her implants and how she had them for 20 plus years and they were like totally deflated and that she was feeling sick all the time, but she didn't want to get them removed. And didn't want to go to the doctor or anything. So this was years and years ago. So I don't know. We
have to send this episode to Tori.
Right? So I don't know if she's done anything since then, but that was like one of the first times I'd ever heard of it.
All right. We hope everybody has a great week.
Yes, we do.
Follow us on all the social medias.
And have a good back to school for all of the students and teachers out there.
It's if you haven't already started, it's this week, I think, for most. In Canada,
yeah.
Anyway.
So
yeah,
surprise.
Yeah.
And all of our teacher friends, good luck and Godspeed.
Oh, Godspeed.
You got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.